Let's get back to technology, though. It's a big day as well as we look ahead to the US and Apple. Apple's set to lay out its vision for AI, finally, some would say, at its annual Worldwide Developers Conference later today. Matt Bloxham from Bloomberg Intelligence is here with a deep dive. Matt, what are you and the team expecting?
Lots, I think, is a short answer to that. And it kicks off at 6 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I think the big focus is really about whether this is going to kickstart a new smartphone super cycle. Obviously, over the last few years, we've seen smartphone sales generally on the slide. That's affected Apple too. It's over 50% of their revenues. And if you look at the way this is being positioned, these AI features that they're going to announce, what everybody's focused on, are only going to really be available on the new versions of the phone to come. I think they're going to be available to people with an iPhone 15 Pro, but not many people have one of those. So it's going to be, does Apple do enough with these AI features to make people think, actually, I really want to upgrade my smartphone in September to get access to these new features?
How low or high are expectations going into today? Is it expected that Apple is going to continue to be a laggard after this event? Is this something that changes the narrative around Apple significantly enough? People get excited about Apple again? The markets are based on expectations. What is market expectation going into this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess with a $3 trillion market cap, there is inherently a lot baked into Apple. How much of it specifically around this event, I'm not so sure. But I think
everybody's waiting for Apple to get into the AI game, and it hasn't yet.
They are. Well, I mean, Apple would say they've been in the AI game for like a decade or more.
Okay.
But the generative AI game may be something different. So yeah, and I think what we've seen with Apple over the last 5+ years is that they're quite gradual. They kind of become a bit more risk averse. They don't want to step into this and be the leader because it's kind of fraught with risk, and we've seen that with people like Google and mistakes on their chatbot, for example. So I think they're going to be cautious, but they're going to lay out that they are a serious player, and this is part of their mid to long term roadmap, and this is going to beat them up into this kind of substantial player. The fact they're going to call it Apple Intelligence, kind of tells you what they're thinking about their expectations of dominating, being a major player in the space.
All right, very quickly, does that change the game, though? If they come out and have a NVIDIA moment where they're saying we're really talking about AI and we're going to dive in and throw all of our money into it, is that going to be well received by investors?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're throwing all their money into it, but they're throwing enough. And I don't think it's going to be an NVIDIA moment in the way suddenly go, oh my goodness, maybe that will come, if as they evolve the technology. But I think for now, I think people are looking for them to do enough to kind of be reassured that they really have upped their game, they've caught up, that there has been this gap emerge, they're closing that gap, and they've got a technology pathway that essentially allows them to kind of cement their leadership in the consumer technology space.
10 a.m. Eastern. We're all going to be watching out and seeing exactly what comes from Apple later on today. Matt, thank you very much indeed for setting it up for us. Matt Bloxham of Bloomberg Intelligence.